Run, 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 run!
Anya, stop running! You know better! Anya! It's so good to be back home. The first few days with Auntie Yaroslavia were hideous. Woo! She's so used to living on her own that she barely said a word to me. After a while, she relented and promised to send something. She even gave me some money for the trip home. But I hated feeling like a poor relative. It was horrible. I was there 3 whole weeks. I missed you so much.
You still haven't told me about Paris.
Well, it was freezing when we got there. And snowing. My French is dreadful. We climbed all the way up to the 5th floor where Mama was living. She had visitors. Some sort of French woman, an old Catholic priest clutching a book. The place was full of tobacco smoke. It was horrible. And all of a sudden, I felt so sorry for poor Mama, so terribly sorry. I clutched her head in my arms and held on to her for dear life. And then she was hugging me and crying. She'd already sold her villa near Monton. There is nothing left, nothing. And I spent my last kopeck on the journey home. And Mama simply doesn't understand. We have a meal at the station, and she orders the most expensive dish, and then tips the waiters a whole ruble each. It was absolutely awful. If only Mama knew how well I understand. She fled this house 6 years ago without a backward glance, because Father had just died, and because Grisha drowned in the river. A beautiful little brother, barely even 7 years old.
Anya! You shouldn't be here alone with a young man. Now, I know nothing will happen between you two because you're an intelligent and well-brought-up young lady, but nevertheless, you shouldn't be here alone with him. Anyway, it's supper time.
I don't feel like eating.
Never mind, appearances matter!
Varia is so petty and narrow-minded. And she's convinced that we're going to fall in love, so she won't give us a minute's peace. She can't begin to understand that we are above all that. Life has just one meaning and one purpose, Anya. To avoid everything that is petty and illusory. Everything that prevents us from being happy and free. And that's it! Forward march! You see that bright star shining out there in the distance? That's our destination. That is our goal. Forward march, my friends, and no falling behind!
You said that so beautifully, Peter. What a glorious day.
Yes, it's wonderful.
Tell me about the planets, Peter. Or let's go on with yesterday's conversation.
What were we talking about?
Pride.
Ah, yes. Yesterday we talked and got nowhere.
According to my uncle, there is something mystical about pride.
He may have a point, but instead of contemplating our navels, we should simply pull up our sleeves and get down to work.
You're so right, Peter.
Humanity is marching forward every day. It is getting stronger all the time. Everything that is out of reach right now will eventually become clear and accessible. But in the meantime, we must work. We must pool all our resources and help those who are seeking the truth. I mean, look at this country. Hardly anyone works in Russia. The vast majority of the intelligentsia do absolutely nothing. I know them. They are incapable of work. They like to call themselves the intelligentsia, but they treat their servants with contempt and the peasants like animals. They're all solemn with stern faces. They don't know how to study. They don't even know how to read seriously. They know and do nothing. They like to talk about important things. They philosophize, but under their very noses. In the meantime, the workers are eating the most disgusting food, sleeping without pillows, 30 or 40 to a room with bed bugs everywhere. Stench, damp, moral decrepitude. All our nice conversations serve one purpose only: to make us look the other way, to delude ourselves and others. I mean, show me, where are the libraries they talk so much about? Where are the nurseries? They exist only in novels. In reality, there is dirt, vulgarity, and the legacy of our barbaric past and nothing else. And I am afraid of serious faces. I don't like them. And I am afraid of serious conversation. We would do better to keep silent.
What was that?
I don't know. A cable snapping, or a bucket plunging down a mine shaft, maybe.
It was upsetting somehow. Peter, what have you done to me? I'm no longer in love with the cherry orchard like I used to be. I used to love it so tenderly. There was no better place in the whole wide world than our orchard.
The whole of Russia is our orchard now, Anya. This land is great and beautiful, and there is no end to wonderful places in it. Do you realize that your grandfather, your great-grandfather, your entire family once owned slaves? Living souls. Just think about that. And they are peering at you this very minute from behind every tree, every leaf, every cherry. Can't you see them? Can't you hear them? But we must atone for the past and wipe the slate clean, and that means incredible suffering and unremitting labor. I hope you realize that, Anya.
The house we live in hasn't been ours for a long time now. And I will leave it. I give you my word of honor.
If you have the keys to the house, throw them down the well and walk away. Be as free as the wind! believe me, Anya, believe me. I am not yet 30, I am still young, and fate has thrown me just about everywhere. But at every minute of the night and day, I feel my entire being is brimming over with inexplicable visions of the future, Anya!
Listen to that singing. And the moon is rising.
Yes, the moon is rising.
Anya, where are you? It's supper time. Anya, where are you? It's supper time.
Varia, again, it is infuriating.
Never mind. Let's go down to the river. It's so lovely there.
Yes, let's go.